Why are people willing to sacrifice more for members of their family than for complete strangers? Biologist J.B.S. Haldane was once asked whether he would sacrifice his life to save his brother. He famously replied, "No, but I would to save 2 brothers or 8 cousins." His answer sheds light on the kind of calculus that can predict when organisms will sacrifice themselves for relatives. Altruistic behaviour occurs when an individual sacrifices his or her own well-being for the sake of others. Red squirrels are not typically a social species, and they rarely interact with each other except for mating. Over the course of 19 years in a single study population, J.C. Gorrell and his colleagues observed the behaviours of 2,230 litters of red squirrels. From an evolutionary perspective, the idea of altruistic behaviour seems paradoxical at first glance. However, it makes much more sense when kin selection and inclusive fitness are taken into account. The aim of Gorrell's study was to prove W.D. Hamilton's formalised concept of kin selection of altruistic behaviours using the formula now known as Hamilton's rule. This rule says that a trait for altruistic behaviours will be selected for and increase in a population if the fitness cost to the individual is less than the fitness benefit to the benefactor of the act, multiplied by their coefficient of relatedness. Gorrell and his team had marked and followed all of the individuals in a single population. They had detailed records of the maternal ancestry and related lists, and thus were able to quantify all of the variables necessary to calculate Hamilton's rule. Strikingly, the researchers found that 5 cases of adoption took place where the adoptive mother was closely related to the adoptive pup's mother. In each case, they calculated Hamilton's rule and found that the benefits in terms of inclusive fitness of adopting the orphan outweighed the cost to their own litter. In 29 cases where pups were not adopted, 27 of them involved cases where the neighbouring squirrels were not close relatives. In the 2 cases where the nearby females were related but they did not adopt the pups, the coefficient of relatedness was too low to satisfy Hamilton's rule. What is perhaps most exceptional about Gorrell's discovery is that it is one of the rare examples where all of the parameters of Hamilton's rule could be calculated. The data necessary to evaluate and validate this rule as a likely explanation for altruistic behaviours are rarely as clear as in this study. This article has been cited 5 times since its publishing in June 2010. Of the 5 other articles, the most closely related is the study of communal nesting between red squirrels. As in the adoptive traits of the red squirrel, females were found to internest with other closely related kin outside of breeding season. This communal nesting article was published in May 2013 and studies the relationship of closely related red squirrels. Thank you for listening today.